Hi, excuses. Um, this is your first recorded version after I've officially left the college. Okay, I just wanted to complete the part that I had begun. We were discussing syntax in the previous class. Okay, and I'll continue with the IC analysis that I was talking about, and so that you will not be left somewhere in the middle of everything. So, IC analysis is the topic for today. Now, I want you to keep a notebook and a pen handy right now, because in order to understand this, you will have to work on a few constructions. Okay. When I say constructions, it means sentences. We'll be using the word constructions to refer to sentences henceforth. All right. So, we have already seen how morphology works, and how you can break words down into small morphemes, which are the smallest meaningful units. Okay, and we know how they act in a sentence, right? They can exist individually. Some of them are bound to other morphemes, and that is how they exist in a sentence. Now, the next step within this is to analyze the sentence as such, because we've already seen how words are, right? So the next step is naturally to analyze a sentence. And as I told you in the last video, we have different methods that were brought out by linguists to sort of do this kind of an analysis to analyze sentences as such. Okay, and it was actually we already discussed structural method. Okay, how the sentence structure was analyzed, and this is also another method, the immediate constituent analysis, also known as the IC analysis. And this was first introduced by Bloomfield. Okay, Leonard Bloomfield, who is a very famous linguist, and he is one of the proponents of modern linguistics. And the aim of such an analysis, of an IC analysis, is to, you have to break down the sentences into the smallest meaningful units possible. All right, and there is a process that we follow within this. In this model, what we do is we begin by, suppose you have a sentence, we begin by cutting the sentence into two parts. Okay, and then the two parts that you got separately, will further divide them into again two parts. Okay, so in IC analysis, every time it is divided into two, and henceforth towards the end you will get this morphemes. You'll get the morphemes of that particular sentence. Okay, it's basically what we did as examples in morphology, but it's just the process of cutting down that you will need to understand. All right, and so this analysis happens at the morphological level. Okay, we'll begin by having a sentence construction, and we'll break it down until we reach the morphological level. And then when we reach the morphological level, we will be able to analyze the morphemes separately based on what phonemes are there. Okay, so that is how you do this. And the last things that you get, I'll repeat this once more towards the end when you understand. The last constituents, or the last morphemes that you get, are called the ultimate constituents. Okay, so before you get confused, let me give you a very good example to understand this. Okay, when you have a nation, like India. India is a complete construction. Okay, it is a country. Within India, you have these many number of states. So that is the second level of hierarchy, states. Within a state like Kerala, you have these many districts, right? So that is the next level: country, state, district. Okay, within the district you will have many towns and villages and panchayats and all of that. That's the next level of hierarchy, right? Within the panchayats and villages and all, you will have families, different families. Okay, and within the families you will have the final individual units. Okay, so if we try to understand IC analysis with this analogy that I have used, the country India will be your first construction. Okay, and when you break it down into the state, that is the immediate constituent. Immediate means what? The very next one, the one that comes next in the hierarchical level. Okay, so state will become immediate constituent of the, or the IC of India. Then you have districts. Okay, how many ever districts you have? These districts are the immediate constituents of what? Of the state, not of the country. Country is two levels higher than this district. Okay, so it is the immediate constituent of state. Within the state, when you have within the district, when you have panchayats and towns and villages, they are the immediate constituents of the district. Okay, then finally, with that analogy, when you come to the individual is the ultimate constituent in this analogy. Okay, so we'll be doing the same thing, but instead of the country, state, district, home, and all of that, you will have sentences and sentence constructions. Okay, and there are three ways of breaking down ICs. Okay, there is the tree diagram system, there's the bracketing system, and there is the box system. So we'll be looking at each of these individually. All right, so let me just open my screen. Now let's understand IC analysis with an example, okay, because that's the best method that we can have. All right, so look at this particular sentence here. The boys shouted loudly. That is a sentence, that is a construction. Okay, so that is the construction that we have. Now we have to find the constituents of this particular construction. Okay, so we are following the immediate constituent analysis method right now. Okay, so to find out the immediate constituent method that is here, let's begin by breaking this particular sentence down into two parts. Okay, remember, in immediate constituent analysis, you will always break it down into two parts. Now please do this with me. Okay, do it in your notebook while you are watching. So I'll be breaking this particular sentence down into two parts. Okay, so I'll have the boys here, and I will have shouted loudly here. I have broken it down into two parts. Okay, these are the ICs of this particular constructions. Okay, now have we reached morphemes? No. Okay, so you will continue this breaking down of the sentence until you reach the morphological level, the morphemes. Okay, so now these are already broken down into two. Now I'll have to further break them down. Okay, so then I'll do this into the boys. All right, and this will be shouted loudly. Right, so that is what I've done. This is the next level. This is the ICs. Shouted and loudly are the ICs of this particular construction. Okay, so that is what happens. It's the hierarchical breaking down. Now let's come back. All right, look at this word the. It is already a morpheme. Can you break it down further? No, so you leave it there. Okay, so we have reached the ultimate constituent here, so we'll stop there. But when you come to this word boys, you can see that there are two morphemes there. There is boy and there is s, the plural form. Again, with shouted you have shout and the ed form. Again, with loudly you will have loud and ly. Now, can you break it down further? Look at it carefully. No, right? So now we have reached the ultimate constituents of this particular construction. Okay, and this is how you do an IC analysis. All right, what do? You break a construction down into its immediate constituent. Two immediate constituents is what you do. All right, so this is the IC analysis. All right, and this is the tree method. Okay, this is the tree method. Now let's try the same sentence. Okay, let's try the same sentence in bracketing method. All right, now again, the boys shouted loudly. Now, what do you do in bracketing method? Okay, it's the same thing, just that you're not making trees. Okay, you begin by breaking it down into two. So you'll make these curly brackets here and say the boys, and again curly brackets, shouted loudly. Right? Then again, you have to break it down again. So remember, when you in bracketing method, when you're breaking it down, you have to retain the first bracket that was there. All right, you have to keep retaining the bracket. You put further brackets inside. Now this was a curly bracket. The next one I'll put is a square bracket here and say the, close the bracket. Now do you put curly bracket here? No, this is already broken down into a separate constituent. So let it remain that way. Okay, again square bracket, boy, close bracket. Sorry, the boys, okay, that will come in the next level. All right, so this is the next IC. Again, here, square bracket, shouted, and loudly, square bracket, curly bracket. Okay, then again, further down, you have to do this. Curly bracket, square bracket, D. Do you break down D? No, it's done, right? Next, again, square bracket was already there, so retain it, okay? Next, you'll have those round brackets, and you can say boy, and a close bracket, S. All right, then again, square bracket, curly bracket, square bracket, round bracket. I don't know what these are called, okay? I'm just calling them like that. I am very bad at maths. I've left maths many years ago. So I'm not sure what they are called, but I'm going to call them round brackets, okay? Then square, curly, all right? And with loudly, square, round, loud, E. Okay, don't forget the square here, square here, square here, curly. Okay, I forgot the square here. Square, square. Okay, so at each level, remember to retain the bracket that you used in the previous construction. Okay, so this is the bracketing method that you use. All right, now the next method is the box method. Okay, box method is just like this. Okay, I'm not going to write it down again. I'll just type it down because so that we don't waste much time. All right, the boys shouted loudly, right? So what happens is that with this boxing, what you do is first you will begin by putting this entire thing under, sorry, oh, I think if I've typed it out, I cannot. All right. First, you will put this entire thing under one box, okay? Then further, you'll make another box, okay? And within that, you will make this into two. Sorry, it's not clear. All right, let me try. The boys shouted loudly. Right, first, this is the first bracket box here. Then you will make two smaller boxes. So let's do this. Okay, here, and this is the next level. Then again, smaller brackets, boxes, I mean. Okay, this is how you do this. You try and put the constituents under boxes. Then again, this will be another small box here. S will be another small box there. Shout will be one box. ED will be one box. Okay. What happens is that you cannot do it in one line itself. I'm just doing it for to make it easier. All right. You have to break it down into just like as you did in the case of tree diagram. One by one, keep adding the boxes so that it does not look like this. It should look better. Okay. So this is basically what IC analysis is. You break down the sentence into let's say immediate constituents, okay? And then finally what you get, remember this, the boy, S, shout, ED, loud, LY, okay? Those are called the ultimate constituents of this particular constructions, okay? So through IC analysis, you can reach the ultimate constituents of a particular construction, okay? I hope that is clear. Now, this might seem a really simple method and you might think that, oh, this was so easy. Why did they come up with another method then? Okay. Now, if you look at this method very clearly, you will understand that this kind of a breakdown can only happen with particular sentences. If you take a sentence like the old men and women, Okay, that is a very ambiguous sentence. It's not complete, but still it is an ambiguous sentence. And there are many, many ambiguous sentences like that that we use in daily life. Okay, and those sentences cannot be broken down using ICs. So that is when the problem started happening. Okay, that IC analysis cannot be applied to all kinds of sentences. Okay, and even though we can break down into, you know, smaller constituents, it is not explaining to us what we are going to do with this ultimate constituent. So IC analysis was found to be inadequate because of all of these reasons. It also does not tell us how we can form new sentences. Like, it showed us that we can break down a sentence, but it did not tell us how you can form new sentences using this format. Okay, you're just breaking it down, but you know, not much of an explanation is given. And that is why it was not helpful in analyzing many, many different kinds of sentences. And that is why linguists started feeling that this method of analysis is not good enough, it is not adequate, and we need something better. Okay, and that is why they came up with phrase structure grammar, which we will be dealing with in the next video. Now what I want you to do is pick up a few sentences and try doing the IC analysis. The kind of questions that you will get from this part is to define what IC analysis is, but more than that, you will be given sentences that you will have to attempt IC analysis of. Sometimes in the question it will be given whether you should follow the tree or the bracket method. Okay, so you should practice doing this yourself. Try and solve a few examples, pick up a few sentences, random sentences that come to your mind, and you know, try and let's say practice doing IC analysis with those particular sentences. I hope this part was clear. Thank you.